So let's queer up gay culture. It Gets Better project leaves X social media platform, claiming it's not a safe space. The It Gets Better project, which seeks to support and empower LGBTQ plus youth worldwide, says it is going to cease posting on Twitter, recently renamed X, because the platform is no longer a safe space. Ross von Metzke, Senior Director of Communications and Public Relations at It Gets Better, told The Advocate that the platform has recently been allowing hateful comments to rise to the top of the feed and has made it almost impossible to block hate speech. Metzke said for adults, it's fairly easy to recognize and disregard hate speech, but officials at It Gets Better worry about the effects of this speech on young people, the primary audience the organization seeks to reach. It Gets Better will leave existing content on X, but won't post anything new unless the platform changes its policies. The organization will remain active on all other social media platforms. There have been many complaints about hate speech increasing on Twitter and now X since billionaire businessman Elon Musk took it over last year. The Center for Countering Digital Hate and the Anti-Defamation League both published reports in December citing rises in hate speech, with the Center for Countering Digital Hate focusing on racist, anti-gay, and anti-trans slurs, the Anti-Defamation League on anti-Semitism. And a report from GLAAD in June found that of all five major social media sites, it was the least safe for LGBTQ plus users. We're seeing a platform that has, predominantly been used for political discourse, but it's obviously, still widely used by young people, become increasingly hostile. We recently had Elon Musk decide that cis is a slur for whatever reason. When we're talking about blocking hate speech, Elon Musk also proffered the idea of removing the block feature itself from the app, saying that it was useless. It then came out that you're actually not allowed to do that as a social media platform and still have your app on the Google Play Store or the Apple Store, but he wanted to do it nonetheless, right? It's because he is willfully making a hostile space for marginalized people in a way that, it's no secret that social media negatively impacts young people's mental health. We've been saying it, immediately following the invention of social media, but it really exacerbates that issue.
And I wonder if Trump is reporting on that platform, if he'll allow him to block who he doesn't want to be heard because he favors his side of the story. Be interesting to see that if that block feature suddenly reappears for certain individuals, but not for other groups.
No, he'll just flee to Truth Social.
Exactly.
Cameron, I'm curious. You're Gen Z. Do you agree with this idea that It Gets Better takes an active stand against X, Twitter, because of the risk of bullying and other related issues? Is that a concern of yours as a Gen Zer?
A concern of mine is knowing that a community that helps me, my people, my friends, my family, is saying, hey, we're taking a step back from this platform. We're going to be everywhere else that we normally are, and even new places, but this is just not the environment we're going to surround ourselves with. We're going to keep everything that we've done and have here, but hey, we're taking a step away. I think that's very professional. I think that's very admirable in saying I don't need to put up and deal with hate that's being constantly barraged at me. I acknowledge and accept that it's going to be a thing, but I'm going to continue my work elsewhere. The main concern and issue is that people are going to take that as we did it. We're stopping them from doing this here. We can do it everywhere else. So I'm afraid of that being that turnout.
Do you have a similar concern?
Yeah, I think that to some extent, we talk about a representation and visibility matters, and that includes in these spaces where discussion are happening, right? I will say, I think that Twitter has not been a super it hasn't really been a go-to platform for Gen Z. It's largely a younger millennial platform, maybe an older Gen Z platform, and I don't think that younger members of Gen Z are really super active on that so much as they're on Instagram and TikTok especially. But there's still a presence there, and I think that it's important for our community to have a voice in spaces where this discourse is happening, where there's a significant amount of political discourse about our rights and the rights of people like us. That having that presence and having that vocal support is so important.
Just in terms of a few factual observations and in terms of what It Gets Better has said. A couple of factual notes about X and Twitter. X and the brand, whatever Elon Musk says the brand is. A few facts. One of which is the vast majority of people that are anti the decision-making of decisions like this are very conservative and are supportive of Elon Musk and the platform because of the voice that they have, which is much more critical, much more right-leaning, much more radical, evangelical, et cetera, and so on. And so as a result, they fall into this camp that marginalizing communities is okay in social media. And I think that says volumes about the platform, which is probably one of the issues that this is being implemented in. Elon Musk is an ultimate and uber free speecher. Now let's assume that that's true. I'm not sure it is true, but he says it is true. And one of the things that I think it is really interesting that is going on, that he is super hypercritical over a story like It Gets Better, is he's a uber free speecher, but they have lost 50% of all of the advertisers on their platform. That is a factual statement. Half of all of the advertisers that were there 24 months ago are no longer there. He is critical of that in the same vein, however, where the Supreme Court has said money is free speech. So it's okay to contribute to election campaigns. Why doesn't it work exactly the same way to your social media platform? Okay, you spent $40 billion on buying it, and half of all of your advertisers said, now we don't want to spend our money there. That is the expression of their free speech, except Elon Musk is critical over it. And so unless he responds to issues, of which there are countless numbers, like It Gets Better, he can't turn X, because people, especially businesses that are expressing their free speech through their advertising money, they're not going to stay with you if you support, like the block example. Unless you are going to have a platform that is safe for everyone, middle of the road commercial advertisers are not going to support you. And they're expressing their free speech by not spending their money on you left and right. It Gets Better is no different than what Ford Motor Company is doing. Both are saying X is not safe. That's it. We are Queer News Tonight, the world's first and only live daily LGBTQ+ evening news show, brought to you from Happening Out Television Network. We operate in the same model of PBS and NPR, but for the LGBTQ+ community. We educate, inform, and entertain by supporting the 10 pillars of our LGBTQ+ community, with more than 100,000 a week watching us on Roku, Apple Television, and other channels. To keep the story going, we accept donations with 100% transparency. Stay updated and live authentically with Queer News Tonight.